You know, a lot of Canadian boxers did well on the international scene in the 80s and 90s, but this fighter is of two minds. Wasn't really a Canadian, but held a Canadian belt for quite some time, held the Commonwealth belt, was USBA champion, and eventually won the WBC heavyweight championship. But purists in Canada, we say, you know, this guy had a lot of talent, but some of his decisions and some of the benefits of him ascending to the world title basically was earned in one way but wasn't earned in the other. But you can't deny the guy was talented. He, again, made some strange decisions in his life which led to an early death. But what you can say, when you win the belt, they can't take it off you. So today we're going to be talking about Canadian, Commonwealth, USBA, and WBC world champion for the heavyweights, Trevor Berbick. Now, Trevor Berbick was a Jamaican professional boxer who competed from 1976 to 2000. He won the WBC heavyweight title in 86 by defeating Pink Long Thomas, then lost it in the first defense in the same year via a massive KO to Mike Tyson. Berbick was also the last boxer to fight Muhammad Ali, defeating him in 1981. Now, as an amateur, he had a really great career. He won a bronze in the heavyweight division at 75 Pan Am Games. In both his early and late professional career, he held the Canadian heavyweight title twice, from 79 to 86 and 99 to 2001. Now at 21, a young Berbick represented his native Jamaica at the 76 Summer Olympics in Montreal. Now he was in the heavyweight division despite having only had 11 prior amateur bouts. Now his lack of experience was evident. He's lost to eventual silver medalist Mircea Simon of Romania. However, he still displayed a lot of promise as a young heavyweight boxer. The previous year, his only bout at the Pan Am Games in Mexico City, he lost the unanimous decision to future heavyweight champion Michael Dokes in the semis, again winning a bronze. Now, Leroy Caldwell, a boxer who fought almost all notable top-ranked heavyweights in the 1970s and 80s, including Berbick, as well as several world champions, recalled that Berbick was his most talented opponent. Now, when Berbick left Jamaica after the Olympics, he opted to settle in Montreal and fight out of Halifax. He won his first 11 fights, 10 by knockout, before suffering his first pro loss to rising contender Bernardo Mercado in a first-round knockout on April 3rd, 79. As an amateur, Berbick had soundly beaten Mercado. However, with 10 seconds remaining in the first of their only pro meeting, Berbick walked to do a punch and was knocked out. Nevertheless, he remained in contention for the heavyweight title. Now, he won the Canadian title in his next fight, and later on he had a 1980 upset of ex-champ John Tate by 9th round KO, which secured him a title shot against Larry Holmes, when he lost a 15-round decision to the longtime champ. In his second fight after a loss, he defeated Muhammad Ali by a 10-round decision in the final fight of Ali's career. Now, in 82, he bet undefeated prospect Greg Page, and in 84 he moved to Miramar, Florida, and signed with Don King. Wins over undefeated Mitch Bud Green and David Bay scored him another title fight, and he won the WBC belt by upsetting Pink Long Thomas via an easy unanimous decision on March 22nd, 86. Now, his next fight in his first defense, he took on Mike Tyson, who was looking to break Floyd Patterson's record and become, at the age of 20, the youngest ever world champion. In the second round, Tyson dropped Berbick with a quick knockdown. He was quickly overwhelmed by his opponent, and late in the round, he went down again. The champion rose to his feet, but immediately stumbled backward and fell back to the canvas. Berbick tried twice more to make it to his feet, but fell both times, and referee Mills Lane stopped counting and waved the fight off to end Berbick's reign as champion. Now, Berbick, ironically, is the only pro boxer to have fought Ali, Holmes, and Tyson. Now, in 91, controversy followed him as he traveled to the UWFI promotion in Japan to fight Nobuhiko Takada in a boxing for a wrestling bout. Berbick claimed that he had been double-crossed and he had expected the fight to be like American kickboxing, but it turned out the rules allowed Takada to kick Berbick below the belt, and according to UWFI trainer Pat McCarthy, no rules were ever changed and Berbick just never wanted to listen. Berbick refused to mount any offense, instead repeatedly complained to the referee as Takada kicked him repeatedly in the legs. Takada claimed victory by default when Berbick exited the ring. Now, Berbick resumed his boxing career in 94, frequently fighting on USA Tuesday night fights. He scored a mile upset over Melvin Foster, but would go on to lose to prospects such as Jimmy Thunder and Hazeem Rockman. He eventually fought his last bout in 2000 against Canadian journeyman Shane Sutcliffe, winning a 12-round unanimous decision to defend his crown. Now, afterwards, a CAT scan revealed a blood clot in his brain. His boxing license was revoked. His final pro record was 49-11-1. Now, Berbick ended up being a preacher at a Moments of Miracles Pentecostal Church in Las Vegas. However, he was arrested on a number of occasions throughout his life and sentenced to Florida to 5 years in prison for raping his children's babysitter in 1992. He served only 15 months. In 1997, he violated his parole and was deported from the States to Canada. Due to his legal issues, he also had problems staying in Canada, losing his landed immigrant status and being ordered back to Jamaica in 1999. However, later in 1999, he won the right to remain in Canada. Now, Berbick had a well-publicized feud with Larry Holmes, who had been fought in the ring in 1981. Their feud culminated in a public confrontational brawl 10 years later, which was caught on tape. After a verbal altercation indoors, Berbick was outside complaining about kicked and punched by Larry Holmes when Larry Holmes climbed upon a parked car and launched himself kick style at Berbick. Holmes was furious with Berbick bad-mouthing his family. The footage ends as the two are separated by police and others. Now, Berbick eventually retired in Florida to be with his wife and 4 children, and he also had 3 children with his first wife in Montreal, and is started to train boxers at Kerry Barrett's gym in Tamarack, Florida. Berbick's problems escalated, and he was then deported from the U.S. on December 2nd, 2002. Now, on October 28, 2006, he was murdered at a church in Norwich, Jamaica, by an assailant wielding a 2-inch diameter steel pipe. He sustained some repeated blows to the head and died at the scene. Now, eventually, police arrested 2 men, one of whom was Berbick's 20-year-old nephew, Harold Berbick, in connection with the murder. They were interrogated at a Port Antonio police station in Portland early on the morning of 29th October. Local residents indicated that the suspect was involved in a land dispute with Berbick. On November 3rd, it was reported that Berbick's nephew, 20-year-old Harold Berbick, an identified 18-year-old man, had been charged with his murder by Jamaica's police. On December 20, 2007, Harold Berbick was convicted for the murder of Trevor Berbick. His alleged accomplice, Kenton Jordan, was convicted of manslaughter, and both men were sentenced on January 11, 2008. Berbick was sentenced to life in prison, while Kenton Gordon was sentenced to 14 years in custody. Now, Trevor Berbick's body was eventually buried at the Berbick family plot, Norwich, in Portland, Jamaica. So going over his pro career, again, big wins, of course. We talk about Iran Barkley in 1999, big fight in the Molson Center, 8-round decision. 2 wins over Shane Sutcliffe, the Canadian contender Ben Perlini, Louis Monaco, Melvin Foster, of course, Bobby Crabtree, blast from the past, lost to Buster Douglas in 1989, lost to The Truth, Carl Williams in 1988, again, Ken Locusta, where he retained the Commonwealth and Canadian belts in 83, lost to St. Dora Gordon, Ronaldo Snipes. This came after the Greg Page loss, and the Canadian contenders like Gordy Rossett, Conroy Nelson, Chuck Finley, Ron Roussel all went down against Berbick. Again, KO9 against John Tate in 1980, draw against Leroy Caldwell in 1979. Earl McLeod, that's who he won the title from, in a big fight in Glace Bay. Also bore a bet Horst Giesler in 1977, and his opening fight was a big win in Shediac against Wayne Martin. So, ladies and gentlemen, a cautionary tale. Berbick had talent, but his mental state and associations really hurt him, and eventually indirectly killed him, because it's hard being a boxer, but when you have all kind of demons chasing you, he would have done best to be a commentator or get back to boxing a different way, but he lived a life that was his own, and he wanted to live that way, and like I said, it probably eventually killed him. I don't know all the particulars about the case, but if somebody takes a steel pipe to you, you know somebody's out to get you. Thanks for listening. Keep punching. Bye.